Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or over in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
No.
I always use it as directed. I mean,
no animals were harmed in the making of it. Welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. It is June 16th. Yes, it is. Obviously,
halfway through
2026. Is it 2040? The 1940. What is it? This is episode number 167, and we are. Oh, by the way, we are coming out with a special around the 4th of July, around the 250th anniversary of the birth of this nation. It's about the Declaration of Independence, its signers, how things turned out for some of them, and we will have a full reading, Richard and I going back and forth, of the Declaration of Independence. It's longer than you think. I think it's longer than the Constitution.
The sentences are longer than you think. We thought, well, we'll just change off paragraphs. Oh my Lord. Each paragraph is one sentence, commas, colons. It's like, you ever heard of a period?
When I was in high school, the English teacher would go, "This is an example of a run-on sentence. If it takes you 5 minutes to finish it, then yes, it's a run-on sentence." But we'll have that for you probably. It'll come out probably on the 4th, so we'll have that ready to go for you. That'll be fun. What day is that? Let me see.
I think the 4th is on a Friday, isn't it?
Friday. Yeah, it looks like it's on a Friday. So it'll either be
on a Saturday.
It'll be either on the 4th or the day or the next podcast drop, which is normally on Tuesday. So we might just have that as the podcast, but we'll have to wait and see. It depends on how much is in the news. We've got a lot of stuff in the news, and I don't even have this on our agenda. But Trump signed memorandum of understanding with Iran on Sunday. And supposedly, I think it's this Saturday, they're supposed to sign something in Switzerland.
Yes, because he's over there right now in Europe already at the G7 conference in Paris that's been burning and having all kinds of riots there. People in Europe have had enough of all the immigrants there. And
I know it.
In Ireland, they're running them off. The immigrants are scared and they are leaving because those Irish, when they get their dander up, lad, it's not a good thing.
Northern Ireland, Belfast, they had that guy that was being attacked by a Somalian, I think it was a Somalian. He was trying to saw his head off with a knife.
Yeah.
And he's survived, but man, the guy is in rough shape.
Yeah.
I mean, he's deep cuts all over him. And of course, you got the kid in the UK that was killed by the Sikh with a knife, that the police totally dropped the ball on that. And it's just a terrible situation.
Yeah, that was sad to see, but it's it's not a good thing. But I like the signing of the understanding because
memorandum.
These guys just thought, well, we'll just string them along a little bit more, and it's like, well, what are you doing? Wait, no, you can't. They've bombed. They have nothing left of their military. I like the one bunker buster that went down, and you see it go boom, and then it's like fireworks, boom, 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 boom. It's just all of their missiles and drones that were down there.
Yeah,
not anymore.
Yeah. That's what happens. It's like when you ever see a fire and somebody's house is burning down, and all of a sudden it's like, bah, 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 bah. It was like, well, they got to their ammunition. It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. But and I'm cautiously optimistic. I like the idea that we're looks like we're trying to bring this thing to a close. I know yesterday gas prices, or not gas prices yet, but the barrel of oil was just over $80 a barrel, I think, yesterday.
At one point it got down to $77 a barrel and then went back up a little bit.
Okay.
So it went down below 80 and then went back up.
Yeah, and of course the stock market went through the roof. I think the Dow hit a new record yesterday, and I think everything was up like 2%. It was incredible, incredible day. So,
You had Keem was saying, "Oh, and this has just been an absolute disaster. It's not done anything." Really,
yeah,
really, you're
that's why they
gonna
call him
really?
Timu Obama. I mean, it's like his mouth is moving, but he's saying stupid things. At least Obama, I mean, you could understand what he was saying, and you could almost buy what he was saying if you didn't know better. But with Timu Obama, it's just not the
It's
same.
just not happening. It's like, do you all think we're stupid? It's like, and somebody said, "Oh, remember when they were trying to scare us with the hantavirus stuff? That was, oh, you're going to need to get," and everybody went, "Yeah, no." In your ear, you fool this once, shame on me. You ain't
Tell
gonna
me don't
fool
play
me
that game
twice.
no more.
Yeah, no, ain't doing it. And it just, if you think about it, it's gone. It
Vanished.
just disappeared.
Yep. I guarantee you they were putting the line in the water just to see if the fish would come. I guarantee you it was all about taking the temperature of the American public, and they got their
Well, of the
answer.
world public, because they were trying
Oh
to
yeah.
do that. That was, they were going to try to go at it again. They didn't quite get enough people killed with the last deal that they were doing. Anyhow, we got so much we need to get at stuff and move along today.
I'd like to start out with this. There was a World Cup game the other day that Tom Cruise was at, and he caught a lot of heat because he was singing the national anthem. But when you hear this is a
How
rendition
dare
of the
he?
national anthem. That's probably one of the best I've heard. It is absolutely fantastic. It's done by a country music duo called Dan and Shay. And It's Dan Smyers and Shay Mooney, but it's fantastic. We wanted to play
But the
that.
best thing was that huge stadium joined in.
Everybody sing. Yeah, yeah.
It was
I
it
keep
was
singing. I
awesome.
still sing when I almost sang when I was watching this on YouTube. So here we go. Hang on. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we marched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the And like you said, the audience participation was off the
They
chart.
started singing, and the crowd was all noisy, and it just went. Phew. And then they started joining in, and then they got louder with the singing, and they were cheering it on, and then they had to fly over, and that it was just, just now. I got goosebumps everywhere. Gee
No,
willikers.
this reminds me, and this is right up there with I think with Whitney Houston did the Spangled Banner at a Super Bowl some
Yes.
years ago.
Yes, one of the best, and they put that out on a little album, and it sold millions.
Yes, absolutely. But I'd never heard of these guys
I hadn't
previous
either.
to this. So, but anyway, moving on. Elon Musk is no longer a billionaire. The poor
Oh,
guy.
I'm so sad
Um,
for him.
He's actually a trillionaire. I think everybody has
Ow!
heard this by
He
now.
what? He
Um,
shouldn't have that much money. Nobody should have that much money.
The first ever with the IPO of SpaceX. He's also made 4,400 new millionaires that are current and former employees. And of course, the usual suspects are not happy. Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren put this on her X account.
We're living at a time when more and more people are just hanging on by their fingernails to survive in this economy. And Elon Musk has more money and more wealth than anyone in human history.
Aw. And
isn't that wonderful?
How is that affecting you? How is that affecting anybody?
Well, I think she feels like, especially the Democrats, but more so her, feel like he's got a vault that's like Scrooge McDuck, and he's diving into his all his coins
Laying on
and
his
money
bed,
in the
naked,
vault.
making money angels. Yeah.
Oh, and of course she likes to say, and you know, this year, the blah, 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 he didn't pay any taxes. They don't mention when he had income and things were building up and were working and were going, that he paid the largest income tax payment ever made by a single individual, $12 billion.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll bring this up. We were talking off the air, but I saw John Stossel was interviewing someone, and Lord help me, I don't remember what the gentleman's name was, but he says there's givers and there's takers. And he said Elon Musk is a giver. All of his entities and entrepreneurship that he's built, these companies and different things that he's taken from next to nothing up, he has over 160,000 people that he's employed through his entrepreneurship and making money. And by gum, you just go ahead and make your money. Then you have takers, Pocahontas being one of them. Elizabeth Warren, what does she want to do? Tax, 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 tax. How did she make her millions?
Well,
That's the part that's making me go, things that make you go, you don't complain. And who are the left not complaining about? Not a word about Soros. Not a word about, what's his last name, Singer, that's over in China, that's a billionaire, sending them all kinds of money for, no, those people, those are good billionaires.
Sure.
No, they happen to be a Democrat, and so they're fine.
Yeah. I think it was Harry Truman that said that you show me somebody in public service, basically, that's rich, that I'll show you a crook. And that is because that's what we're seeing in Congress. Yeah. Republicans and Democrats.
Yes. No, it's not just one. One Eye is no longer in there because people are just not tolerating the rhinos anymore.
Yep.
So anyhow,
but again, this whole class warfare thing, it falls on deaf ears with those of us who call ourselves conservative, because we know that just because someone else is rich doesn't mean that I have less. It has nothing to do with that. And we could quote Milton Friedman all day long. He was another one that and that guy understood economics, and there is no way in a capitalist system, just because someone has made it means somebody else didn't. There's not a finite amount of money. Everybody can make their own. And it's just good choices. He's a smart guy.
And when the government runs out of their money, which is basically finite because they don't do anything to make money, they just print more. Ta-da! Good deal.
Well, it should be finite, but they always spend more than what the tax revenue pull in.
There's a little thing that's caused by that, and it's called inflation.
Yes. And Reagan called that a hidden tax, inflation.
Yes. Yep. And we're paying it up the nose right now from 4 years ago.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of buzz about a new NBC poll also asking voters how proud you are to be an American. There's a guy named Steve Karnacki. He's an NBC data reporter, which I never heard of that term before. Anyway, he explained it on Meet the Press. I think it was this past Sunday. So
some big picture numbers on how folks feel about the country, where it is, some sobering numbers maybe. Take a look at this one. How proud are you to be an American, we asked, as we celebrate 250 years. So you see the different options here. Look, extremely proud, very proud. Those numbers together get you 56%. At the other end of it, only a little or not proud at all, 21%. The significance of this number is in decline. decline, a steady 21st century decline. At the turn of the century, 3/4 of Americans were extremely or very proud. That number's fallen to 56%. What's behind this? It's familiar fault lines, Kristen, political, demographic. Check this out here. First, it's partisan. Look at this. Republicans are almost universally going to tell you extremely or very proud. Look at that number for Democrats. And meanwhile, only a little or not at all, 12 times as many Democrats say that compared to Republicans. We have talked about age here so many times. Older Americans more likely to have that extremely proud feeling. Younger Americans much more ambivalent on this question. That's the state of the country.
All right. He mentioned the Republicans. We've been pretty flat. We put up on our social media pages, our Facebook page and our Instagram page. Go check out this graphic. And he was a little off on his numbers as far as at the turn of the century, the beginning of the 21st century. It said that the Republicans answered this question 90% positive. Yes, I'm very proud to be an American. And Democrats answered at 87%. Independents answered at 84%. But if you think about this, like that was at the end of Clinton's term in 2000. So we didn't have George W. Bush come in yet. But if you look at the chart, and like I said, I encourage you to go look at our social media sites. But if you look at the chart, Republicans are pretty flat all the way across. Might be hit bumps and valleys and here and there, but for the most part. But if you watch Democrats, once George W. Bush was in office, towards the end of his run in office in 2008, they were down to about 72%. Then it went back up during the Obama years. Then it went back down when Trump got elected the first time, and it got down by 20 in 2020. It was down to 40%. And now they're down to 36% because Trump's in office again. So, I mean, it's sort of like if your wife's not in a good mood, it's like you're not happy to be married. I mean, it's like, why in the world are you so, why is it so dependent on who the president is, whether you're happy?
Because they do nothing but push that propaganda. They watch the fake news stuff, the CNN, the MS Now, or whatever it's called, and any of your mainstream media propaganda machines are out there telling you, oh, it's just that things are so horrible, blah, blah, blah. And they will take that Hakeem Jeffries and parade him out in front of things when he says, oh, this war was just a disaster. Really? Really? Did you happen to see the same stuff we did? All they're trying to do is put it down. We have suffered through Biden. Did we hate our country when he was president? No. Were we happy with our government? No. But that didn't mean we hated our country.
Exactly. Or wasn't proud to be an American. I mean,
Correct.
That's never gone away. I was a guest on a radio show yesterday in the UK, and it's like, and both our countries are seeing similar situations with migration and illegal migration and different things that are going on, and the violence and it's like, and both of us agree that we live in two of the best countries in the world to live in, for sure, but it's on a slow decline. As far as, it doesn't mean that we don't love our country, and he felt the same way. I mean, my love for my country has never quit from the time I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't understand how you can say I'm not proud to be an American. But you see that on social media, the man on the street interviews. They ask these younger people, especially, and I think he made mention of that. The younger people are much more. I don't like my country. This is a terrible country. It's like, it's indoctrination.
Yeah. That's what it is. I know someone that went to college, and they were very upset when their first year as a freshman turned a paper in, and they got back a bad grade and said, this is not what we're looking for, blah, 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 because they did it from a conservative viewpoint. And by the end of their time going to college, at the end of it, they had been turned liberal.
Of course.
4 years of just pushing it and pounding it in their heads. Well, I don't want to get bad grades, so start doing that. And then all of a sudden, everything is, when you're around it and everybody you're around is being told and indoctrinated, it's no longer a university. It's a dang indoctrination center.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of stories of people that send their young girls off to college. They come back with blue hair, and they hate their parents. They hate the country. And it's like, that's obviously what happens. So,
Yeah, it was really sad to see, but it happens, folks.
it does. On that subject, the View's Sonny Hosten was asked about America's 250th birthday, and
Do any of her opinions really count? They're
yeah,
funny,
no,
but
not to me, but I mean, she believes that she's another one of those. She's just like Hakeem, believes in her heart of hearts that she is an intellectual, and there's just not a whole lot of substance there to prove that point. I mean, I don't think there's enough to. I think I'd throw it out of court if it was in front of me. But anyway, here she is talking about her views on America's 250th birthday.
So you want me to celebrate 1776 and my ancestors were not free.
Right.
We're not independent. Didn't get independence. I mean, think about that. Think about what a big ask that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty significant. There are many people that refuse to be honest about it, that still say this is the greatest nation in the world. Other nations don't agree with that. And we've got to be honest with ourselves about how young we are and how much we have to learn and how much we have to grow and where we are right now. And I'm willing to be honest about it. And I don't care that I take that much heat. You know, and I talk about just the African American experience, but think about the Latino experience now and what's happening to Latinos all over this country, and think about Native Americans and what has happened to that community. You know, truth and reconciliation, but truth is the biggest part of it. And what I'm seeing is a lack of truthfulness and an erasure of history, because there are things that I'm sure people aren't proud of, but they won't admit to that. And that dismisses my lived experience.
So when you say Latino, it has better impact when you say Latino. It's like,
well, at least they quit calling them Latinx, which they absolutely abhorred. Did
Joe
not like
Biden.
it. I don't know where that stupid term started
I think
in
that was Joe
California.
Biden. I think she came
Was
up
it
with
Joe
that.
Biden? Oh, yeesh. That was
She's the
one
one
of
who used it in public the first time I ever heard it, and it's like she got a lot of weird responses. But
yeah, no, that's not good. But and we have part 2.
oh, we do.
Oh, really?
I
What?
want to ask one thing real quick though. Looking back on our 250 years, why focus so much on the negatives?
Yeah.
We've done so much as a
no, it's victimhood. Oh, they were total victim.
I mean, if you were writing a biography about somebody and all you did was just say, look, when he was 22, he made this mistake. And when he was 31, he got mad in traffic and cussed somebody out. And, it's like, instead of going, well, look, he had a family and he treated them well and things, and he stayed at the job for 25, 30 years, or, it's like you just focus on the negatives. It makes it sound like it was a terrible thing. And that's exactly what they're doing with the country.
Yep. And that's why people are saying they hate it, because they hear this crap from their left influencers, their left media. All that garbage that they're putting out is total BS. It's like, what are you going to be mad about something from 200 years ago? Really?
And
Get
I think
over
you
it.
said this. There's nobody alive today that had anything to do with the slave trade or Jim Crow laws or anything like that. None of us had anything to do with that. And so, I mean, to blame us for that kind of thing, and certainly, and we got to follow up on this. You can't look at somebody's skin color, and supposed ancestry and make any kind of determination. Sonny just found this out. I think it was only a few weeks later she was interviewed, and I guess her 23andMe report came back, and,
Lucy, we got a surprise for Joe.
you got some splaining to do. Here we go.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life. that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
So what you're trying to tell me is that you can't control what your ancestors did.
No.
That's an interesting concept.
That report gave her the hamana. I did. How do I explain this?
Yeah, dude, but all these people I hate, I'm in that group. Good.
Oh, Lordy, that was, she, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, or as I told a very bad boss one time, I could understand you better if you just stand up.
Stand up.
I was leaving and quitting anyway, so, but he didn't appreciate that.
Well, it does get muffled when they're talking that way.
It kind of comes out.
And it doesn't smell very pleasant either. So, yeah. Take a minute, something. I mean, I got an Altoid. Hang on a second.
This won't hurt at all.
This won't hurt at all. Got a glove. I need a glove.
Oh, Lordy.
It can be fun listening to how legislative meetings or governmental meetings in other countries, how they sound, how they're handled in these foreign countries. And here's an example that I heard on Instagram yesterday.
I can do the same thing every council meeting. I can, and I can make the decision. You can do it. Yeah, I'm like, no. This is the way the practice.
The question here is, who brought this resolution? The original one.
Very good.
Original Satnam brought it.
Satnam brought
No.
You can back them. Mr. Mayor, my question is
The guy is there. He's not outside.
No. He is scared.
But he comes back. He's speaking right now. I am speaking. Excuse me. I have done enough. Your behavior is very bad. Okay, very enough. Because you are very disrespectful man.
I want to speak for 30
No, excuse me. I'm speaking.
Not allowed anybody in the floor to speak.
This is. You are my father to censor like outside business. Are you my parenting?
Are you my parenting? I thought it was mostly English. But looking at that, I mean, what country do you think that was?
But wait, there's more.
Let's see. Oh, I see. It was in Hamtramck, Michigan.
Oh,
Michigan.
yeah, that great country of Michigan.
It was a legislative meeting in Michigan.
Yeah, had to be something close to Detroit, Flint. That whole area is, they imported them for voters. I don't think it's going well.
For some reason, the meetings I've been to here in Bartow County, Georgia, have not sounded like that.
No.
It's
And
interesting.
there's called a thing that they use in our legislative process is called Robert's Rules of Order.
Yeah. Well, I think that was part of the Robert's Rules of Order. What are you doing?
You are my father to tell me not to. Yeah, in your ear, pal.
I mean, I knew there was a big Muslim move in around the Flint, Michigan area, but
Yes.
but they sounded Indian to me. So I mean, I don't know.
They sounded like they've been working all day in the call center. Yes, how may I help you?
Exactly.
Did you know, sir, that your computer is having lots of problems and we will be here to help you take care of it?
I think that one guy helped me reboot my router one time. but anyway.
Oh, yeah. I got somebody to hang up on me. That was great. I kept getting those calls about the computer.
Yeah.
And so when she was done, I went, oh, thank you so much. My computer is such a piece of crap. All I do every day is click.
They hung up on you?
Oh, yeah, they hung up on me. It's like they didn't like having it given back to them. So
But it was fun.
I was having a blast. I didn't get very far.
Goodness gracious. Well, speaking of foreigners, let's do this before the break. Foreigners are getting involved in politics even more and more. You think about in the UK, the mayor of London, Birmingham, a lot of the big cities over there are all foreigners. They're all from the Middle East, a lot of them. But this guy, Zul Mohammed, was running for mayor of Carrolton, Texas. And I don't know whether that's a suburb of Dallas or not. It's a suburb of a bigger city anyway.
Yeah.
But he was at a rally and he said this.
believe a guy who hates American veterans, who gave him the freedom to say what you're saying.
No one gave me
right
freedom.
now.
My parents are the only people that made sacrifices. No vet has made any sacrifice. I want to make that clear. I do not support the U.S. military. No, I do not support the United States. I look down on both entities. I want to make that clear.
You don't. How do you feel about veterans?
I don't support veterans.
What?
The only vets I support are the ones that take care of cats and dogs.
The only vet I support is the ones that take care of cats and dogs. But did you hear that? I don't support the United States or the United States military, either entity.
And he's so shocked he didn't get voted in.
I'm shocked he didn't get shot. It's Texas.
I know. There was a crowd around him, and he was not giving up. It's like, good for you, but go away.
It's amazing. Just amazing sometimes. We have a special treat here for the break this time. We're not doing Real Men of Genius. We have a song. Let's see. I want to get this lady's name right. Her name is Natasha Owens. It's a song called TDS, and I think you know what TDS stands for. But let's play this. And this, if you're watching on video, you need to watch this on video. Go to YouTube, Rumble, or on Spotify. They have the video portion of our podcast on there. But it adds so much to it when you get to see the video.
Oh, yeah. And Mike reached out to him and said, hey, kid, we'd like to use this on our podcast. And we got a glowing absolutely at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know. I can't believe it. I wrote the email, and it was like within a half an hour, they responded to me. So here's Natasha Owens with TDS. Let me get this up there.
Screen.
And is it going to play? Is it going to play? Maybe not.
Oh, it did earlier.
Let's just try it again. Let's do this. You might have to fix this in post.
I hate fixing things in post. That's why we don't do it.
Where am I here?
Well, while we're having this delay.
There it is.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. I know the problem, you've got just one policy. You do the opposite of what the Donald does. Don't know what you believe just because you got that TDS. You've tested positive. There's nothing I can do for chronic low IQ. It's TDS. Open the borders, let my Donnie pick your pocket. Let the boys beat the girls, they got that extra rocket. A theology degree from Starbucks. You declare that America sucks. You got that TDS. You've tested positive. There's nothing I can do for chronic low IQ. It's TDS. Let's get this party started. If you're left, you're blue and probably retarded. Like Rosie, De Niro, Jimmy Kimmel, Kathy Griffin. No kings, no kidding. We don't live in Great Britain. If J6 was the worst thing you've ever seen, Soros, burning Sadie's a mostly peaceful thing. Bring back the cartels, commute their crimes, sack the fact checkers like the New York Times. He's a Nazi, a fascist, a racist dictator who lets you say what you want to say.
Luke, I am your daddy.
You got that TDS. You've tested positive. There's nothing I
syndrome may include violent behavior, delusions, nightmares, insomnia, irrational hatred, hopelessness, anxiety, depression, blue hair, tantrums, inability to form coherent speech, difficulty maintaining gainful employment, and verbal diarrhea.
There's no cure in sight.
Pretty good, right?
Oh my Lord, that was hilarious.
But if you're interested in downloading that song, you can go to let me see, Natasha Owens Music.com, or you can go to iTunes and download it there. And I think you got to pay $1.29 or something for it. But it's fantastic, and she's great. Yeah, I think everybody ought to be playing this every time they get a chance.
Oh, the AI and that. Every time I've seen it, there's something else I hadn't noticed before. There's so much stuff going on. It's hilarious.
Colin Kaepernick with the football dummy, and it's like so many little things. And then what's his name? Alec Baldwin with a gun in his hand. It's like,
yeah, I missed that one before. It's like, oh, that was.
Pointed it out to Barbara, and she's like going, it's like, yeah. I love it.
Too much? No, we don't think so. We thought it was hilarious. And thank you so much, Natasha Owens, and your producer and that, who gave us permission to use that. We really, really appreciate it. So, yeah, get out there and share that with somebody else, because it is just too good not to share.
And the full video is on YouTube. You find her channel on YouTube, and you can find it there. There's links on natashaowensmusic.com anyway. But if you go to her YouTube channel, I've been subscribed to it. I had not heard of this lady before, but it is well put together. Like you said, the AI is so perfect. I don't know how they don't get sued. I'll be honest.
I will say that the AI of Kathy
Griffin?
Gifford? Yeah. She looks really good in the AI compared to what she looks like now. She is so haggard and she is just
even with the Russian hat on that she had. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, just too funny.
I have to watch it again to see other stuff that I've missed, but I've seen it like 3-4 times now, and every time it's like, oh, I missed that. Oh, there's another.
I'll email you the video. I'll email it to you. So.
Glad we got that figured out. Technical difficulties have been recovered.
Yeah, I don't know. I kept the window open. I thought it was going to work, and once it played once, it didn't want to play again.
Yeah, sometimes you have to restart the stinking things, and then they got a commercial at the beginning. And
well, I downloaded the video, so I don't have the commercial.
That's right. Smart, Matt. You're a smart cookie.
Oh, very, very smart. Smart for a stupid boy. Anyway, Tulsi Gabbard, as we all know, she's on her way out of the government. She's her husband is sick with a very rare type of cancer, so she's stepping away from her role as the director of national intelligence. But anyway, she made a big announcement the other day. Apparently, she's still working right up until the last day. And well, anyway, I'll let her explain it. Here she is.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings and files, today I'm releasing new evidence of longstanding U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries. Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to longstanding threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage. Now, until now, evidence regarding the full existence and funding of these laboratories had been knowingly withheld from you, the American people. Many of these U.S. government-funded biolabs are currently or have previously engaged in research using hazardous and highly contagious pathogens, and in some cases included dangerous gain-of-function research with very little visibility or oversight. Now, President Trump clearly understands the serious threat dangerous gain-of-function research poses to the American people. And this is why he took decisive action over a year ago. On May 25th, 2025, he signed an executive order to end federal funding of gain-of-function research around the world. Here at ODNI, I issued new guidance to the intelligence community directing increased collection on these laboratories and facilities overseas. And we're already seeing the results of this increased collection. We're learning new details, for example, on clinical trials that are underway at these facilities and that are raising significant ethical, financial, and security concerns regarding the supposed public health initiatives and U.S. national security. Now, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S. funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth. So this release today breaks new ground, as the information surrounding the existence, history, locations, and funding of these U.S. funded biolabs has been intentionally covered up by very powerful people who falsely claimed that these biolabs didn't exist. Now, they accuse anyone who says otherwise to be foreign assets and traitors to America. Now, ODNI will continue working closely with partners across the U.S. government to identify exactly where these labs are and what pathogens they contain to end dangerous gain-of-function research that threatens the health and well-being of the American people and people around the world.
You would have thought that, you know, I don't even understand the mind that comes up with this. Well, let's take a virus and let's monkey with it to make it really
harmful,
contagious, and dangerous.
Yes.
I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, I guess as a bioweapon, but
yeah. It didn't bother Fauci at all.
It didn't.
He could have cared less. No big deal.
And he called out, Rand Paul, and called him a liar, that he didn't know what he was talking about. He obviously did.
Yeah. Well, Rand Paul's got his own issues, but by the same token, the deep state hated this when it came out. Oh my Lord, there was well,
they'll just label it as misinformation again.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they did during COVID. Whenever anybody questioned it, you know, it's like, you're a conspiracy theorist, or like in Tulsi Gabbard's case, well, you're working for the Chinese government, or you're a foreign asset, you're a spy.
I remember Putin saying something about there was biolabs in Kiev, which used to be called Kiev. I don't know why they changed the name of that. But he was talking about that, and then the Americans went, "Oh no, he's full of beans. I mean, it's Russia. You gonna believe Russia or us? Good old American boy."
At this point, I'd believe anything Russia has said over what our own, especially the Biden, the Autopen administration did nothing but lie. For
just right to your face and go, "Nuh-uh, that never." And Fauci had no problem just sitting there stone faced and arguing about it and saying, "No, there was no." Yeah, there was.
You know what? If he was an honest guy, he wouldn't have needed the pardon. And
which may not be any good, because that's going through courts now. That's an Autopen pardon. I don't think that's any good.
Well, you know, and by the same token, as far as the pardons go, the whole January 6th committee got a pardon. Well, if they were just telling the truth, then why do they need pardons?
Yeah, why would they? You mean all that editing and throwing away of information and stuff was bad? What? We can't do that?
They ought to get Oscars for the way they edited those things together. I mean, there's got to be a category for that, I would think.
Oh, I'm sure that's what they hired, was some Hollywood person to do, because it was pretty well. It was. You looked at that and you go, "Wow, it was terrible," and then you go, "Well, what's the real?" And then people go, "No, this is the real footage," and somebody had it, and you go, "Well, that's not even in the ballpark. What the heck?"
Because everything's about context. No matter what you're looking at, everything's about context, whether it's somebody's story about what happened or the video was 4 hours long. There were 4 hours of video. Well, they narrowed it down to like 30-second clips. It's like you can do whatever you want.
It was ridiculous. Anyhow, speaking of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good segue. I like it. New York State, if you didn't think they could get further off the rails, but they actually are getting there now.
I don't think they're even on a rail to begin with, so this is not helping. This is kind of like the train is headed to the gorge and the trestle is out, and they're still headed to the gorge knowing the trestle's out. Whatever.
The conductor's like going, the conductor is drunk, apparently, because he's just full speed
sure
ahead.
As heck wasn't Casey Jones. That's all I'm saying.
It certainly was not. They made a new proclamation for their state, and here's Fox News' Nate Foy explaining what that is.
New York Democrats argue the words mother and father are outdated and need to be replaced with more inclusive terms under state law. All that's needed now is Governor Kathy Hochul's signature. So if Hochul approves, in New York's family court and in domestic and education law, a mother would be labeled as a gestating parent, a father as a non-gestating parent, and paternity proceedings to determine the child's father would be called parentage proceedings. The bill passed the state Senate this week and the state assembly back in March. Governor Hochul proudly calls herself New York's first mom governor. It's unclear if she'll support this change, though.
I'm not familiar with what was introduced late last night, so I'll take a look at it. I have until the end of the year to review them and make a decision, so I won't be commenting on pending legislation.
New York would join other states like Massachusetts, California, Connecticut, and Colorado to change the definition and wording of parents in their state laws. Democrats argue the bill is necessary to accommodate surrogacy cases and same-sex couples. Now, Governor Hochul's up for re-election this year. Her main challenger, Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, tells Fox this morning this bill is a continuation of war declared on families by Democrats.
So instead of being New York's governor mom, she's going to be New York's governor gestating parent.
I had seen this. I think I said this one to you. There's been so much news. We are sending stuff back and forth like this whole week. It's been horrible. But the wife, she was folding clothes or something in the bedroom, and she come out, and I said, "Well, hello, gestating parentage." She goes, "What? What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I'm a non-gestating parentage." Yeah, she goes, "What in the..." Yeah, that didn't go over well. I guess I can't call her that anymore. She's offended. She must not be a liberal.
She didn't hit you with something. I know your wife.
And think about where this is being done at is like they are not giving up on their woke crap, and people are going no. And by the way, in New York, I think the House now has it's 14-12 or something in their Senate or their House. I don't remember which it is.
It's passed.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be once the elections, whatever, that there are more Republicans won their primaries and primaried out some of the Looney Tune lefty.
That's why they pushed this through before everything could change.
Got to get it done before they leave, which is going to be happening in our stuff. And I saw Thune yesterday talk about, well, we just don't have the votes. Well, what have you done about it? Well, we just don't have the votes. You are worthless as on a boar hog.
You don't have the votes because, first of all, 4 Republicans voted against the SAVE Act anyway. But
and they'll be gone shortly too. You've already got Cronin's; he's gone.
But I mean, if you get rid of the filibuster now, you don't need the 60 vote majority to get things passed like that. And the Democrats have already said that they're going to get rid of the filibuster when they get back in power anyway, so they can push their crap through. Yeah, so I mean, and they're also talking about packing the Supreme Court, making it 9 members. Well, why not just do it now? I think it was Chip Roy talked about that the other day. It's like, why don't we just do it now? Why not? I mean, let's do it. We can get our own people in there, people that actually know the Constitution and have some common sense about them. If we're going to do it, let's do it.
So. Who do we have that doesn't understand the Constitution that's in there now? Let's see. It's on paper, brown paper.
Well, I mean, There's a couple of downright idiots in the Supreme Court right now.
Well, because they were put in as DEI hires, and that's exactly what you end up with.
Yep. Unfortunately, people who don't understand DEI think you're being racist and misogynist about that. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I've loved women all my life. It had nothing to do with. And it just doesn't have anything to do with it. But that's what they do. As soon as you bring up something like that this is unfair to everybody, or falsely props up somebody that doesn't need to be. I mean, you're
qualified or you aren't. I don't give a crap if you're purple, pink, or whatever. It makes no difference to me one iota. If you're qualified to do it, do it. If you're green and have big dark eyes and you're qualified, knock yourself out.
But they still throw Charlie Kirk under the bus for saying that if he got on an airplane and there was a black pilot, that he'd wonder whether it was a DEI hire, because I mean, it's just one of those things. You just got to wonder. Anyway,
on a more positive note, I'm good at this, aren't I?
You are. Part of the America 250 celebration and Freedom 250 celebration. Seems like they've kind of combined efforts ever since that whole, was it America State Fair or America's Fair? A bunch of those artists backed out. They've kind of combined forces with that. Everybody but Vanilla Ice and seemed like there was somebody else that did not back out. But Martina McBride backed out, and Milli Vanilli, which there's only one of them left, and those two guys didn't even sing the original Milli. Anyway, so anyway, there's a new thing that America250.org, I think it is, Americas250.org. They're going to bury a time capsule in Independence National Historic Park in Philadelphia, where all this got started. It will contain, by the way, if you're keeping score, this is, the 250 is actually called, I learned this yesterday, so I'm going to brag on myself a little bit, semi-quincentennial, just so you know.
I heard that this morning. Yeah. I went, is what? Oh, okay, well, it has a name now.
I'm just going to call it 250th anniversary because I don't have it written down in front of me. I'm not going to remember that. It's going to contain contributions from all 50 states, D.C., and our 5 territories. Along with cultural things like an iPhone 17 Pro Max is going to be in there. A handheld flag from this year's Rose Bowl parade. A coin from the 2026 NFL playoffs, which in 2276, when this is opened, I don't know how anybody's going to do. What the heck is this? Anyway, a photo of the 2026 PGA champion and the starting lineup from the 2026 season opening Phillies Rangers game. So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Among other innovative contributions is the Library of Congress. This is the one that got me. Molecular data storage device. It's a tiny metal vial about the length of a pencil eraser. And It contains synthetic DNA encoded with digital copies of selected library collection items, like the Thomas Jefferson's rough draft of the Declaration of Independence. That's really cool. Francis Scott Key's handwritten lyrics of the Star Spangled Banner, an 1898 audio recording of the Star Spangled Banner, actually sung by John Philip Sousa's band, or played by John Philip Sousa's band. There's a 3D rendering of President Abraham Lincoln's hand. And this is all going to be opened in 2276. I believe Jesus is going to come back in the next year or two, but I mean, if we're still around by then, I mean, we'll have to see. But there's a lot of info. Go to America250.org, and you can go through a lot of that info and find. There's also celebrations. There's block parties all over the country. If you click on the map under block parties, you can see in your area whether there's celebrations. There's a thing on July 3rd in Woodstock, Georgia, that I was thinking about going to see. It's music from the Georgia Symphony Orchestra, and it's all patriotic music, and so I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah. And that's within 20 miles, 25 miles from me. So
Yeah, and each state gets to put in something. And we were talking off air in our promo about Idaho. Well, they got to put a potato in there, and by the time they open it, that potato's not going to be real good looking. So I come up with a brilliant idea. Put in a Mr. Potato Head. Ta-da! That still represents the state, because when I was a kid and Mr. Potato Head came out, there was no potato. It was just the parts, the eyes and the arms and the legs and all that, and you stuck them into a real potato, which we happen to have a lot of around here.
yeah, I didn't know that. The only thing I ever saw, I mean, I never owned one, but I mean, the only thing I ever saw actually had the plastic potato that you stuck all that stuff in.
Yeah, using a real potato to make a Mr. Potato Head didn't last very long. We never had the game. We saw it, and it's like, why would you want to stick that stuff into a potato for? That's for eating. What are you doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody got hungry, and where'd my toy go?
Oh, my. Hey, we did it. We did a good job today, bud. We stayed on task.
We blew through everything we needed to blow through, and but there's a lot of good information in today's show. So I think
it just the news. There's so much happening. What's going on over there, and the left is still saying that Iran won. It's like, what? They have no navy. They have their military's been decimated. They were shooting like 100 rockets a day off, and it's down to they toss one up every once in a while. They don't have anything left. Their drones are done. We've just virtually wiped out the Navy and their little skeeter boats. So how did we lose?
Yeah, and all the bombs that were in the Strait of Hormuz were the Claymore mines, basically.
Oh yeah,
they're almost all gone too.
Yeah,
so
they've been working at that. We were stealing, taking out. Stealing's a strong word. When we wiped out all their stuff along the coastline where they were flying blind, they had no radar, they couldn't see anything. We just brought a vessel in, and here you go, fill her up, buddy, and off you go. And we were letting them through, and they didn't know a thing about it.
In some cases, I heard that they transferred the oil from one tanker to another to get it all the way through. But, I mean, things were getting through. I think that's why the oil prices didn't get up to like $130 a barrel.
Well, they were talking $200 a barrel, the naysayers, the nanars. So, anyway, it's all good. By the way, from when we went to Hawaii, our gas prices were $4.72. They're down now to $4.30. So it came down almost 35 cents. Over 35 cents in just 3 weeks.
In Idaho?
Yes, it went. The bottom fell out.
I think we've gone from 370 something down to I think it was 346 I paid the other day. So that's not terrible. Plus we get fuel points at Kroger. If you got a Kroger in your area, use them. Albertsons, same thing.
Albertsons, I got 60 cents off yesterday because she was empty. It took over 16 gallons of gas. It's only got a 21-gallon tank. I don't like it getting that low to the bottom. But it was only $60 to fill it up. I was shocked. So
using those fuel points helps. It really does.
Got to do what you got to do when things are what they are. We don't go very far anyway. Okay, let's get to Paul Harvey. Oh, this is a wonderful rest of the story about a couple that we all know, and you will figure it out at the very end.
Here we go.
The rest of the story. Herb and May, always fighting as they were, never quite came to blows, far as anyone knows. Still fighting all the time, over money which neither had, over liquor of which both had too much, and yet in the eye of that human hurricane was this. Herb and May were different as night and day. He, the sociable schemer, the public boozer, she, the guarded neurotic, the secret tippler, and nothing would ever change either into the other. And so it was, 10 days before Christmas 1925, that Herb and May fought one last time, because Herb had decided he'd had enough. His preparations for leaving his wife were as thorough and as cunning as the plot of any mystery novel. To get him enough money for a fresh start, he forged May's signature to the necessary forms. He borrowed $150 and then waited for the next twice-monthly payday to increase the sum sufficiently to give him enough time to make a clean getaway. He would leave work at noon for a long lunch, he had told his co-workers, to put them off guard and to keep May unsuspecting. He would invite her to meet him after work. Maybe we'll take in a show, he had said. And to ensure that he could not be traced through his face, he took every family photograph in which he appeared and quietly removed them from his home and even from his office desk and destroyed them. According to its purpose, Herb's plan worked perfectly. For hours that December night so close to Christmas, May waited on the street where he had promised they would meet. But Herb had vanished. Into the snowy canyons of Manhattan he had vanished, leaving behind his $35 a week job at Mutual Life Insurance Company, leaving behind his family and the crummy little apartment at 358 Chauncey Street in Brooklyn. For anybody who had ever known him or loved him, he was never to be seen again. And yet in the shadows of the saga of Herb and May, all the while there trembled a little boy, 9 years young, when Daddy left home forever. For a few years more, mother and son struggled in poverty, and he, Herbert John, was still in his teens when she died. But when Herbert John grew up, he put things right the only way he knew how. He recreated the little apartment at 358 Chauncey Street. He recreated that little apartment, and he put his parents back in it, and he made them make up night after night after night, forever after. On the trophy shelf of television history, a place of honor is reserved for the pioneer situation comedy called The Honeymooners, the hilarious, often poignant, continuing tale of an embattled blue-collar family the world knows as the Cramdens. And that ever-popular series was the unique invention of its star, Herbert John Gleason. Jackie Gleason, who insisted that each episode end with a hug and a kiss and an undeserving husband's declaration, "You're the greatest." Now you know why. Because now you know the rest of the story.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I'm going, why would he recreate his apartment? Wait a minute. And then he says, night after night. I went, wait. If you folks are not familiar with the Honeymooners, just go online. You can find about any episode you want on YouTube. Just put in the Honeymooners. And it was, one of these days, Alice,
the moon.
Straight to the moon. Hey, Norton.
I was wondering if the Nortons were real. I wonder if they were based on somebody who lived upstairs.
Yeah, whatever, him and Trixie, and they would come down, and it was, Art Carney was phenomenal as Norton. Will you quit that? He would get to do it. It's like, what are you doing? Anyway.
Yeah, but the interaction and the actors were just fantastic in that show.
Back in that era, to have, it didn't sound like a script. It sounded like they were just talking to each other. And that was really unusual. Some of the stuff you would see on early TV was woof. It was rough to watch. Not this. It was fantastic. So,
if you watch Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore in their the Dick Van Dyke Show, it's like you could tell a lot of that was just like, it was painful sometimes, but it was funny because Dick Van Dyke was he was physically funny. But yeah, it wasn't that typical situation comedy.
Yeah, it just seemed like you were looking in on somebody's apartment for what was going on and what scheme was happening today. And he was just a Joe Schmo bus driver that went out and did his job in the city and came home. And Norton worked in the sewers, and they were just everyday people. So
Ralph came home grumpy a lot because he was like, people on that bus were just terrible.
But yeah, no, I've never seen the show.
No, me neither. Anyway, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. We did have a lot of fun today.
Yeah, we did.
Find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, Rumble, or wherever you find podcasts. I got to get better than I did in the promo.
Yeah, you did. Well, the promo was... And no, I'm not editing it.
It was a mess. I almost cut my own throat.
Oh, and if you have trouble finding podcasts, but you know how to get to a website, just go to our good old website of stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
Right. We will see you next week, folks.
Oh, toodles, and thanks so much for tuning in. And be sure and tell a friend. We appreciate all of you doing that. We're now up in 76 countries. So let's spread it around and have a good time. Why not? It's bad news. We'll try to make it fun.
Yeah, why not?
Toodles. Well, we had fun and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Well, mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.